Alright, call on my Yahweh Bashmi Al Shah. All praise to Yahweh Bashmi Al Shah. Double honors to the apostles over the Great Millstone Church, as well as to the elder bishops on down to the rest of the elders, and all the Akim of the branches. Also hold forth the true word of life. Alright, just coming back with another lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to be dealing with Sirach 27:3. It says Sirach 27:3, but I'm going to read it in the NLT or the RSV. It says, if a man is not steadfast and is zealous in the fear of the Lord, his house will be quickly overthrown. All right, so I'm gonna read it again. If a man is not steadfast and zealous in the fear of the Lord, so yeah, if a man is not continuing, if a man is not steadfast, meaning if a man is not focused, dedicated, if he's not, reading, constantly, praying, constantly keeping his continuing, man, enduring, keeping his mind on the Lord, on the scriptures, right, and zealous in the fear of the Lord, right, making about the Lord's knowledge, doing what the Lord says to do, and not to do. His house will be quickly overthrown. So yeah, he's gonna be overthrown. His house will be quickly overthrown. Meaning what? Basically, you're gonna lose yourself. You can lose yourself. So this is basically like a land back, off, my last two lessons dealing with the first one was basically pretty much how everything don't need to be on camera and stand on the things that's of salvation for Israel. All knowledge, isn't for the camera. You know what I'm saying? But what it is the things that, of salvation that all can receive. And then the second lesson was pretty much a laying back on that, going into, the power of the ministry being repetitive, like basically being okay with constantly bringing out, constantly, continuously pushing, these same messages, the things that's constant, because in that you basically become a master at it. And now in this lesson, pretty much, this is dealing with, this is basically like a part 3, pretty much the final part of it, and that's the warning if you don't look at it like that, because if you don't stay on these things you're supposed to grow in, have the fundamentals, which you are to have fundamentals in anything and to have them down pat, it's like being a basketball player. Like if you don't got, the fundamentals, or a football player, you in sports, whatever. If you don't got the fundamentals or the basics of a game down, you know what I'm saying? It could be a damn, whatever, a video game or something, and you stand on that, you're not gonna really be able to withstand or win, So it takes understanding that, but staying on top of that, because you want to have that understood, but have those fundamentals not just on deck but mastered. So that's where the repetition comes in, and it brings forth the mastery. So you got to stay on reading. You got to staying on top of reading and continuously reading these things. We supposed to stand on. So I'm gonna read it again. It says Sirach 27:3. If a man is not in the RSV, if a man is not steadfast and zealous in the fear of the Lord. Let's get that word steadfast. This is in the Google.
Steadfast.
Resolutely or dutifully firm, unwavering. Synonyms meaning loyal, faithful, committed, devoted, dedicated. See, reliable, steady, true, constant. That's a word I use. Staying on the constant. See that? Single-minded, unchanging. Hence repetitive. You know what I'm saying? Like you're staying with what, it's about, and that's dealing with standing firm. Once you go down, you see that it goes back to stad fayes, which means standing firm. All right. So matter of fact, let's get the etymology of this word. Yeah, let's go to the etymology online. So it says, it goes into being unshakable, right? Middle English, steadfast, a person's unshakable, stubborn, resolute. So steadfast in the etymology, it means unshakable, stubborn, resolute. It says in purpose, faith, etc. And it comes from the Old English, stede fayes, which is secure in position, steady, firm in its place. And you break it down, you got from stede plus fayes. And from stede, when you break the word steadfast down, you get stede, which means place and position, and fayes, which means fast, right? So you hold fast that spot. You hold fast to these things, like the Lord told us to do, because why? Let's get that. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians 5. And we're going to jump down to 21. It says, prove all things. Or I'm going to actually start at 20. It says, despise not prophecies. In NLT, it says, don't scoff at prophecies. It says, in the point, verse 21, in the KJV, prove all things, hold fast. See, hold fast that which is good. Because why? If you let it go, which would be through, you not getting in the habit of being repetitive, you not minding that you want to keep it about the basics, the fundamentals, the main things, the principal things, the things that's constant and not the high things necessarily. That's not of these things. You're gonna end up, not holding fast. You're putting yourself in position to hold fast to where basically you will forget these things. And then that takes me back to why I really brought this out. Sirach 27:3, if a man, in RSV, if a man is not steadfast and zealous in the fear of the Lord, his house will be quickly overthrown. See that? So meaning you will get to the point to where since you ain't stand on it, you ain't hold to these things, someone can overthrow you. You can stop believing it. You get to the point to where you would think someone could make you think you're not right anymore. That's pretty much just going into, which this comes from, the KJV, Sirach 27:3, unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall be soon overthrown. So you will be start to become unfruitful, and putting yourself in jams, and then you'll be able to be susceptible or succumb to a nigga, that don't know what the hell he talking about. You'll be able to give heed to seducing, be in position to give heed to seducing spirits. You'll be more susceptible to it, to where you agreeing with those that scoff at the prophecies, that think, the scripture's wrong and you wrong because you believe in the scriptures because they think they right, to where you don't believe you right anymore and you believe those they right. You know what I'm saying? The people you believe, you get to the point to where you start to believe what's right is wrong and what's wrong is right. That's basically what this dealing with. So that's why you want to hold to this. All right. So yeah, that's basically the point. Nothing drawn out. It's basically what that's going into. This is 2 Timothy 3 and 14. But continue. See that? In the things which thou hast learned. See, continue. All right, and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. See that? So you want to hold these things fast. You want to stay on this though, because the warning now, if you don't, is what you're able to succumb to. You being overthrown. So when you get into that word, continue.
Strong's G 3306. Mano. Mano.
It says to remain, abide, not depart, to continue to be present, to be held, kept continually. See that? It says to continue to be, not to perish, to last and endure. All right, so you gotta endure this mindset and constantly stand on it. You know, you gotta endure what brings life and what doesn't. You know, and that's these scriptures. You know, the simple things that get us off track and got us off track in this lowy state, and that's not the rejected knowledge. Knowledge, you know, not holding the knowledge was my understanding. You know, which is why I say wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability at times. And is it just any knowledge and wisdom and understanding? No, it's the wisdom of knowledge, wisdom, understanding of Yahweh Bashmi Shah. All right, hence the fear of the Lord. All right, and you gotta be mindful of that, because it ain't just all knowledge, man. You know, it ain't all wisdom. All right, that's why scripture say drink water from our own cistern wells. So again, in the RSV, Sirach 27:3, if a man is not steadfast and zealous in the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Bashmi Shah, his house will be quickly overthrown. Exactly, man. All right. So yeah, that's basically the point. All right. So just take heed, call him like Yahweh Bashmi Shah, Tanakh Shalom.